So the stock market is booming. That's right, it is booming. Tariffs or no tariffs, it is booming, all right? Let's talk with Charles Payne, host of Making Money right here on Fabulous Fox Business, and Gerri Willis, our Fabulous Fox Business correspondent. Welcome, kids. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, it's booming. You got records, S&P record, NASDAQ, I don't know, Dow's not too far away. Industrial stocks are booming, growth stocks are booming, economic sensitive stock, pretty much everything's booming. It's fun to have booming stock. What's going on here?
Everything's wonderful and nothing hurts. You know, you heard all about how the tariffs were going to kill the economy, kill stocks. You know, your 401k was going to go into the toilet. And guess what? We had a tariff announcement today, and it's still going up, right? So professional investors, they allow themselves to change their minds on a whim. Sometimes they love things. Sometimes they hate things. They change their minds willy-nilly. But I think the real thing that markets are moving on today is the Federal Reserve and those meeting minutes, which showed they're thinking seriously about rate cuts.
Really? Well, okay, Charles. All right.
Well, Daly also chimed in, so because you do have Bowman and Michelle Bowman, who in the minutes yesterday they said that they're definitely the two. Everyone knows.
Chris Waller. Chris
Daly,
Waller.
Waller. I'm sorry. Yeah. But
Mickey Bowman. Yeah.
But Daly today also hinted.
Mary Daly.
Yeah, she also hinted.
That little lefty from San Francisco.
The lefty from San Francisco.
Wow,
yeah.
Good for her.
Yep. So she's. I think she's putting September into play. What I love about today's session. All these high-flying stocks that are up, you know, every single day, a lot of them got hit today, right? Profit-taking. It happens occasionally. But the money didn't go to the sidelines, right? That's just what you want to see. You want to see, because the big beef right now is you've got 10 stocks that are 40% in the market, and that's going to be a disaster. But as money rotates out of that and it goes into other parts of the economy, that's really phenomenal. And the growth stocks keep leading the way. The growth stocks, the cyclical stocks, would suggest that Wall Street and the stock market believes the economy will remain.
There you go. I think that's really, you know, I think that One Big Beautiful Bill has been an underrated factor in the rise of the stock markets for several months, all right?
That's exactly.
For several months.
That's what
while the Federal Reserve and Jay, what's his name, says it's all about tariffs, the market and the companies, right, profits are the mother's milk of stocks, are saying, whoa, wait a minute. We got immediate expensing. We got full cost expensing for our factories. The rest of the expensing was put back on the table. We got small businesses incentives. We got incentives galore, and that has nothing to do with tariffs. Nothing.
So that was the first thing.
Jay, what's his name?
Jay, what's his name? He may say what he wants, but the first thing that one of the traders mentioned to me was this expensing, CapEx expensing. You know, and we've never seen the kind of policy that's being put in place. It's really going to unleash just a mountain of spending, and all of that is going to trickle into everybody's pocketbooks across.
I mean, it isn't just today, but Charles, industrials have been leading year to date, which I find very interesting. It's like we forget we have technology stocks, we have NVIDIA, God bless NVIDIA, I get it. But we also have old-fashioned industrial companies that are doing very well. And the outlook, because of the tax cuts and maybe the deregulation, for example, and maybe the lack of inflation, for example, is very helpful to these industrial stocks. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it used to be, back in the day when I was practicing, the stock market was a predictor of the future economy. There, I said it. I know it can change its mind. But if you have a rally like this and you can't keep it down, it suggests something. Old-fashioned company. Next thing you'll know, construction stocks are going to be roaring. Next thing, industrial stocks are going to be roaring, et cetera.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And to that point, this is why this whole thing about not just the big beautiful bill, but the tariffs and everything. Ultimately, we're talking about reshoring, building things in America.
Yes.
And I don't think any sector reflects that more than the industrials. One of the big movers today, Huntington Ingalls, they got another upgrade. They just keep getting upgrades. Keep watching that stock. It's HII. On the other hand, Delta had a great earnings report. That was one of the leaders today. But it's broadening out. The growth, the American exceptionalism story, it's still intact.
You know, it's such a good story that President Trump texted on it today. Truth Social. He's a stock market maven. I don't have it in front of me. Wait, here it is. I do have it in front of me. Here it is. Tech stocks, industrial stocks, and NASDAQ hit all-time record highs. Crypto. We haven't talked about crypto. Through the roof. NVIDIA is up 47% since Trump tariffs. USA is taking in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. Country is now back A great credit. Fed should rapidly lower rates. Yeah, we know that. But the point, he makes another good point. The revenues are pouring in. The tariff revenues, which Jay, what's his name, never wants to talk about because it's going to finance the debt, so he doesn't have to finance the debt by creating printing press money. I mean, look, Trump's right. This stuff is rolling. Rolling.
It's rolling. And so this kind of optimism begets more optimism. Do you know what I mean? Like people spend, and I think you're starting to see this with consumers. Like they hear the good news, they see the opportunity, they start spending. I can't tell you how many people. More people are becoming entrepreneurs. More people are starting businesses. And I think it's this feeling. You and I were talking a couple of days ago about this 4th of July and how good that felt this year.
That's a good point. That's a very good. Charles, take it from there. But I think there's a lot more optimism in the air than people think.
So, you know, the folks who've missed out on the rally, the media, all these folks who are anti-Trump for one reason or another came up with this taco tray thing, making fun of Trump. He always chickens out.
Right.
Here's what Trump has done. He's got the tariffs that he wanted the whole time. We're at over 14% tariffs from 2%. They're breaking in hundreds of billions of dollars. The stock market's at a record high. Record entrepreneurship, to Gerri's point. He's getting everything that he wants while they focus on some kind of nonsense like this. So let them have their fun while the American public prospers.
Charles, anybody that thinks Trump is a chicken needs to be texted just a little bit of a picture of those B-2s going over Iran and obliterating their nuclear facilities, okay? I don't mean that the people saying that should be bombed, but they might look at that because here's a very decisive president who takes action and will continue to take action.
And he's doing things that he is doing things that you just don't do in Washington, D.C. He is totally unafraid, and they are not accustomed to that because he's upsetting the apple cart, and he's trying to actually, what he's really trying to do is he's trying to spread the wealth. And since 2009, the wealth has overwhelmingly gone to people who own assets, particularly the stock market. President Trump is trying to find a way to spread the wealth.
Yeah. Brakes on Social Security payments, wages, overtime pay.
Jay Powell, if things are so bad, why are they so good? I mean, Jay, what's his name? Sorry. I got it back. Gerri Willis and Charles Payne, we appreciate it. You can catch Charles, of course, hosting Making Money weekdays at 2 p.m. Eastern right here on Fabulous Fox Business.